All right, and yeah, let's get started. Um, oh, thank you so much for the music, David, as usual. Awesome tunes. I'm excited to have everybody here today at the fifth Near Foundation Town Hall of 2023. I'm Marcus from the Near Foundation community team, and we have a pretty awesome agenda today. I'm really excited for it. I just want to be transparent. I hope we have enough time to get through all this amazing content. So to be brief, without further ado, I'll go ahead and kick things over to Marique for an introduction and an overview of today's agenda.
Amazing. Thank you, Marcus, for the welcome. And I agree, we have a super jam-packed, incredible agenda. So let's get through with it. So at our last town hall, we heard from several projects that are building on and leveraging the boss, Satori from Near Task, PySpeak, Flipside, Harmony Guild, and we got a ton of positive feedback on that. So one, thank you to this project for presenting. Two, thank you for the feedback. We want to incorporate more projects from the ecosystem. So if you want to pitch your project, to present it, please reach out to participate. The second thing I wanted to mention is we'll soon be launching a town hall hub on the blockchain operating system, which will include previous recording and upcoming schedule, but also an opportunity for you to ask questions and share ideas. So stay tuned. I'm told that's coming imminently. Now, while we don't have that yet, we've received two questions async that I actually wanted to, one, thank the sender for the questions, and two, actually address here quickly. And so that also means that if you have questions while the hub is being set up, don't hesitate to also send those through. We'd be happy to answer them either on the live stream right now or actually async if something comes to your mind later. Question number one that we got is, can you please outline what NEAR is doing to prepare for the emerging positive environment in Hong Kong and China? So context here for everybody, it indeed seems that there is quite a lot of positivity coming on the regulatory side of things from, in particular, Hong Kong, which will actually be opening up to retail tomorrow on June 1st. And also China, that has made quite some noise in the landscape and in presses. We actually used to have quite a few teams there. We do still have people that are there. And so we'll actually continuously looking at, fostering innovation, in particular in the region. Now that's also a good plug for me to remind all of you that there is actually NearCon in Vietnam coming in September. And you'll also hear actually about Scott later today to pitch also what's happening in Korea. But all in all, we are also very excited to see a positive trend coming out more broadly, in particular from Asia Pacific, and encourage all the builders that are in that region to continuously participate and build on NEAR. The second question was, what's the roadmap for all things AI and crypto, especially given the background of our founders and in particular Ilya? Today, Ilya is unfortunately not able to join. He has other commitment and is actually right now in Asia. But we are very, very excited. I think I would really encourage everybody to read the great blog post that Ilya wrote a couple of weeks back. There is no specific roadmaps, but there is actually a lot of organic projects that are emerging, leveraging actually faster development. In particular, for example, shout out to the one from Luis from Midbase, who will be the GPT plugin that write contracts and then deploy as a widget on the boss. So NEAR is the boss. So those are some of the questions that we actually got and received. Now, as Marcus mentioned, super excited for the agenda that we have today. Before going into that, one last thing. You really saw that we are highlighting quite a lot over the last few days, FastAuth, which is a super powerful actually feature on the boss. And so our ask here would be to each and every one of you to actually also help amplify the messaging that is on FastAuth. With FastAuth, boss users are able to get a better than Web2 style onboarding experience. It's super easy to create an account. And you don't need new passwords to actually get onboarding into crypto. And perhaps even more powerful than that, it's very powerful for developers as an easy way to actually onboard people and users into your components. So this is a key major step for actually enabling onboarding of millions and hopefully billions of users.
Hello, friend.
Hello, whomever you are, if you can please mute yourself. Thank you very much. And so please continue to share that.
Until I become very busy.
Hello?
What do you mean?
David, I think you're
David Sherman.
Yes, David Sherman, please mute. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to the agenda, please. So intro, that's done. I'll just remind us briefly of our mission, vision, and strategy and conviction. Then you'll hear from OKRs. Not everything is green on that side. Alex Kyoki will give an update on the boss and what's coming up. We'll then hear from recent partners, Rove, Taco, and Cosmos. Thank you guys for being here. Yadira will share upcoming events. Scott from the Korea Hub will also share a lot of things that will actually happen in Korea and are happening this month. And last but not least, the NDC needs you. And so Blaise will share an update on that front. If you have any topics you want to hear in the future, you know what I'm going to say, please reach out. The Foundation's mission: why do we exist? To support the ongoing growth and development of an autonomous and decentralized ecosystem. In terms of our convictions, the easiness to build more than ever is extremely important. And with the boss, the ultimate composability and the ability to build extremely fast is extremely important. User experience, whatever we do, it's all about being able to onboard users and provide a 10x, 100x better user experience. We do believe that actually Web3 needs a unifying force, way too many tribalism. And so the boss is ultimately positioned to be able to do that. And the tech that has been built over the years on Near is the only place where actually that can happen, with nearly immediate finality, scaling that works, and remote accounts, meta transactions, to name a few things. Now, our approach to reach millions of users, bottom up and top down, very important to continue embracing the work done by the community, the accelerator launch with Near Horizon, and continuing to work with strategic partnership that can help onboard large number of users. And you'll hear more of the strategic partnership in the second part of the All Hands. And with that, David, over to you.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. So our OKRs, we go over this every town hall. So I'll go through this quickly. Our North Star, 1.2 million monthly active accounts by the end of this quarter. Unfortunately, we've been fairly flat for the past several weeks at around 800 to 900,000. So likely to miss this North Star for this quarter. That being said, we do have, as we keep talking about, a ton of amazing momentum, especially within partnerships. Many of whom will be launching on mainnet later this year, and you will hear from a few of them today, which are super, super exciting. And then getting under the hood a little bit, the first OKR is Near is the boss. As we keep talking about, there were 4 OKRs here. First one was the near.org migration, which happened and is complete. The next 2, getting 1% of the community converted to the boss. We're currently on pace, I would say, for around 15,000 by the end of this quarter, out of the goal being 20,000. So slight miss there, but we actually have seen some great momentum, which I'll show you in a sec. In terms of Twitter, the goal was 2.2 million followers. We are currently on pace for getting to around 2 million. It's also a little short, but still quite strong growth within Twitter. And then one of the most exciting things we've seen over the past now 4 or 5 months, or weeks rather, was our increase in share of voice. And so this is how often is Near being talked about amongst a peer set on Twitter, specifically amongst crypto Twitter in that domain. The goal was to increase 50% from around 3% to get to 5%, but we are currently actually at 15% share of voice amongst our peers, and our peers being Solana, Avalanche, Aptos, and Polygon. And this is held now for the past 5 weeks or 4 weeks, which is incredible to see. Second OKR, Near is a thriving decentralized ecosystem. A ton of progress here as well. Our grassroots DAO is being set up with independent operations. That is complete. NDC V1 governance rollout. I would say it is on pace to be ready for Q3. Blaise will talk about that a little bit later on today. NPS from the community, we did a Q1 survey and we came in at around 30. The goal for this quarter is to hit 40. Near Horizon, which a lot of you have heard about. The goal was to have 10 projects onboarded, and we currently have 92 projects with profiles. So amazing to see that. And the one pretty big red mark here is external capital flowing into the ecosystem. We had a goal of 150 million, and there's been no fundraisers yet this quarter. And then the last category is where Web 2 goes to become Web 3. The biggest red here is on a million MAAs from partners. As we talked about, most of our big marquee partners aren't launching yet in Q2. So this will be a more later half of the year ambition. Currently, we're at around 700,000 from key partners. And then in terms of deals, both tier 1 and tier 2, we've closed a lot of very impressive deals, some of which have been announced, some of which have not yet, but a lot of this is coming towards the second half of the year. And then I'll just race through this. So monthly active accounts, I mentioned this, we've been fairly flat for the past several weeks now at around the 800,000 mark. The first OKR, near as the boss, I mentioned this massive spike last week in getting new boss accounts. We saw over 3,000 new accounts sign up on the boss this past week. A lot of this was due to a very successful CoinGecko campaign, which drove a ton of new users and new accounts to the boss. So we now have about 12.5 thousand accounts on the boss. Twitter, mentioned this, we're at about 1.8 million currently. And then near share of voice, I mentioned this is super exciting. We have not been above 10% in probably 6 or 7 months. And we've been now consistently above 10%, closer to 15% amongst our peer set. Near thriving decentralized ecosystem, mentioned this, external capital has not, there's been no fundraisers yet in Q2. But then other key callouts here, boss developers is growing quite strongly. So we now have over 100 monthly active boss devs building on the boss, many of whom are building multiple days in the month. So full-time and part-time devs is increasing. And then new weekly components being built on the boss is also growing steadily over time. So amazing to see all of this. And just a few big announcements in the past 2 weeks. Block Daemon making staking even easier. Air Chains, Calder, which I think just announced, and there's I believe a space is happening this week with them. Artera Labs, also we just announced this I think an hour or 2 ago. Super exciting to see that partnership go live. And then Sweat launched their Learn and Earn campaign. Cool. And with that, Alex, over to you on the boss.
Awesome. Thanks, David. So yeah, if you go to the next slide, please. So feedback we've been hearing from folks in the community is what's happening next with Boss. And when we say the Boss, we mean actually the entire tech stack of Near, not just near.org and the discovery layer. So we want to show a view into that. And then how do I get involved is also something we've been hearing a lot of feedback on. So I hope by the end of this, you'll see. So the theme of the next 6 months is BIDL. We're really going back to taking a ton of feedback that we've seen since release and going through a deep research and development process to get to kind of the next set of features you all are excited about. But to take that a little bit closer, next slide, please. Here are the kind of large initiatives that the Pagoda team is working on. And I'm going to walk through kind of a high level of each one. But before I do, if you notice, there's a break here between the first and the second. Everything that we see in the second half here are things that we are hearing that want to be built from the community and we think have value as well, but we do not have the capacity just as Pagoda to do. So we're looking for partnership, and many of you from the community have actually already started to get involved in work groups and are helping co-build this with us. So that's exciting. And ultimately we want to keep jumping on that and really embracing open source and co-building everywhere we can. At the top, we're looking at FastAuth and making it into an SDK. So right now you could use it on near.org. We want to make sure anybody in the community can be able to use it. Meta transaction relayer, we're also looking at making more publicly available and productionizing in the same way. So this is the ability to send transactions on behalf of a user. Enablement, engineering cleanup to get to consensus and build out this near.org gateway as fast as we did in about month and a half. There's just a lot of tech debt we got to pay down. Web Engine 2. So there's been really great community involvement and feedback into what the next web engine should be able to do in terms of how you can build components and what features are available to you as a developer. So stay tuned on that. Design system. So user experience is really key, and we want to make it really easy for you with sample components and a design system that allows you to basically start with larger building blocks rather than having to build all your HTML and CSS from scratch. Cross-chain support. So we do have Ethereum support through MetaMask. We want to keep doubling down on this into remote accounts and expanding across EVMs and beyond. Content moderation. So these components are actually being community built as well. And it's really exciting in that the community is actually getting involved in really creating a safe environment for all of us. And we want these to be available to folks. Privacy and legal compliance. So things that we will always promise is like hashed identities for anything that needs to be done, and the ability to control your own data when it comes to analytics. So this is really important philosophically for us as a Web3 group. We'll definitely want to keep having community involvement here. Near.org is going to go through a new homepage actually again and redefining the main nav. Lots of good feedback there. Optimizing for SEO. So things that are really hard when you put your front end on blockchain, making sure that web crawlers can actually read it is a new and challenging task. If you're going to run your own gateway, you'll want these features as well. Notifications, which we've talked a lot about, being on web, on mobile, as well as email, and making that available for people to re-engage users, and as a service that could be separate from near.org. And re-looking at the near.org onboarding flow and getting started and finding kind of the right tribe for you. And that's inclusive of search and discovery recommendations. So again, the sandbox UX, so this is the developer experience. We're co-building with some members in the community. Content moderation, more things on identity, which actually Blaze will go into the NDC. We're co-building as well. Sharing and referrals, we're looking for new partners on too. So we're really trying to keep the visibility so everybody can be aware of how we can keep working together as an open source ecosystem. Next slide. So who can you connect with though? So, I mean, it's helpful to see, but if you want to continue the conversation on anything you see here, these are all product managers who are super excited to hear from you. You can find their @handles here on near.org. And so, feel free to send them a Telegram message or poke them, follow them, and get a chance to get involved. Next slide. Okay, so how will they be helpful, right? So I just want to set everybody's expectations. Like product managers' jobs is really to help consolidate ideas into hypotheses. So it's not to dictate how everything just needs to be done. It's to really bring together all of the ideas that come from a ton of different sources and publish a hypothesis. And we're going to start publishing more hypotheses from Pagoda to get more feedback through the next slide. Through this cycle, right? So we'll have internal feedback, of course, from our own engineering teams and our designers. We'll do, formal structured user research where there's interfaces. We want to have work group sessions, which our TPMs will help us organize, right, across the ecosystem. And ultimately continue to do our market research in partnership with folks in marketing and BD to make sure we understand how everything is being positioned. And we'll cycle through this as many times and as fast as we can to get to the best tested hypothesis before we build together. So ultimately what we're looking at, next slide, is building together. So I really appreciate everybody's feedback, and next slide. We promise that by next week, we're going to start showing some more public snapshots on near.org posts of the roadmap and progress we're making on hypotheses on those swim lanes we showed you. And you should expect regular work group sessions for those that get involved in the different areas with the 6 PMs that I showed starting in June. And thank you for everything you all do.
Hi everyone. I'm Devin. I'm on the business development team here at the foundation, and I'm super excited to be part of this community. We're all passionate about building an open web that's secure, scalable, and that unlocks endless potential for our users, our builders, and our partners. But we understand that having such great technology alone cannot drive all of this progress, so that's where our BD team steps in. We work really hard to foster meaningful partnerships, build great communities, and create avenues of collaboration within the ecosystem here. Since the beginning of the year, we've closed over 40 deals and have grown to just about 20 people on the BD team. This is why today it's such an honor to bring on 3 partners whose deals we've closed recently. At these town hall meetings going forward, the BD team is going to highlight exciting partners by inviting them to speak to you all. Without further delay, I would like to invite my colleague Alex to introduce Rove, the deal he led.
Thanks, Devin. Hey, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alex, one of the many Alexes in ecosystem, and I'm part of the business development team where I focus mainly on partnerships in the sports and entertainment industries. So this is also one of the many reasons why I'm super excited to introduce the first project of the BD Spotlight section, which is Rove. So Rove is a Web3 entertainment ecosystem that provides a seamless platform for brands and creators to launch experiences across music, sports, film, and fashion. And Rove's flagship product is a user-friendly mobile app that features on one side curated NFT launches and also blockchain-based ticketing, and removes a lot of the key friction points for Web2 users. The team is already collaborating with a number of big brands such as Tommy Hilfiger, and they're soon releasing Rove World version 2, which will introduce a lot of new great features. So the new foundation has announced the partnership with Rove last month, right in time for NFT NYC. And yeah, we're super excited to be working together to simplify Web3 ticketing and loyalty for brands. So I'd now like to bring up Jason, who's the founder and CEO of Rove, who will dive deeper into the exciting things that Rove has been up to. So with that, over to you, Jason.
Thank you, Alex. Super excited to be here. Really exciting to be working with the Near Foundation and see all the developments on this chain. Yeah, so just to jump in really quickly on Rove, as Alex mentioned, our main focus, we are a mobile app available in iOS and Android. So we got approved by the App Store. The 2 main products that we focus on are blockchain-based ticketing, as well as on-chain loyalty rewards for brands, creators, and artists. With a lot of the themes mentioned here, right, such as onboarding the masses, merging the physical and digital, this is really kind of where Rove lives. So we have 4 key features of our app that really make this, we think, a user-friendly experience. The first is you log into this app with your email and you have a digital wallet created for you. You never need to deal with seed phrases or any of those complexities. Second, we have gasless transactions. So users never need to hold gas to either buy NFTs or interact on chain. So this removes the need to send customers to a centralized exchange to get crypto, which is a big hindrance to various brands. In addition, we have in-app purchases and credit card payments as a fiat on-ramp. And last but not least, you can send assets to other users through usernames. So we have social profiles rather than wallet addresses. We think these 4 features will really be key to providing this ongoing utility and onboarding the masses. As Alex mentioned, our core focus areas are fashion, film, music, and sports. We've worked with the likes of Tommy Hilfiger, and we have some big deals in formation with Near and some of the other verticals that will go alongside the launch of our V2. Just to wrap this up, V2 will feature in-app stores, which will allow these brands to sell digital assets direct to their consumers. and track their loyalty, track their attendance, and get that direct data on an ongoing basis. So we expect V2 and the Near wallet integration to be ready in roughly 2 months. Alex, if you can go to the next slide. Yeah. So just to give you guys a little overview of our traction. So Rove was initially built on Solana, but as Alex mentioned, we are integrating Near into Rove. So this is a multi-chain expansion for us, and we're extremely excited to roll out business development and future features on Near. Just to go over some of our traction, we've been live since January 20th, so around 4 months now. Within the first 2 months of launch, we had over 14,000 on-chain transactions. We had downloads in over 200 countries and 6 continents, so very global user base. We had over 5,711 tickets claimed. We now have over 10,000, over 1 million Rove credits spent, many NFTs staked in the app, and a growing user base. So once again, thank you guys for having us. Super excited to further build out the community and onboard new users into the Near ecosystem through Rove.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. My name is Maggie, and I'm also part of the Near Foundation BD team. It's a great pleasure to present everyone regarding Taco. So Taco is a new loyalty platform that we brought to Near Foundation, and they have been building this loyalty platform that enables brands, retailers, brick and mortar business owners to easily tap into Web3 and also create a token-gated commerce functionality around this. They have been also working with a lot of larger brands and also including car wash companies like Soapy Joe's and also Truman Factories. So basically, we have been launching the partnership together with Taco, and this will enable utilizing Taco. They will be able to give Shopify retailers next generation customer loyalty program, and also be able to facilitate the innovative loyalty approach and also incentivize brand valuable behaviors together. And now I'll give the stage to the founder of Taco, Z, to give everyone more color regarding Taco.
Thanks, Maggie. If you go to our opening slide, I'll kind of mention the idea behind why we're doing Taco and the value that we add. So usually the first question we get is, why did we call it Taco? The simple answer is that everybody likes tacos. I've never met anyone who hates tacos. So that's why the name Taco just works. And then I think what's really interesting about the way we've seen, when we talk about Web 2 to Web 3, it's, it can mean many things for many different people. When you look at shopping behavior or how brands reward customers, one of the earliest things that brands have done is give people points. But points, even though they're great for you to come back to the same brand, they aren't great for consumers because on the consumer side, they lock you into that one brand. So the vision we've had for Taco since the beginning is that we wanted a way to not just get Web 2 into Web 3, but really completely disconnect, or, as the core of blockchain goes, have it be completely decentralized where you aren't locked to a specific brand. So what was that one unique, ultra exchangeable token we could create? And different brands have done different things. We've seen crypto communities help brands launch their own tokens. But I think if you're really trying to incentivize and align yourself with the consumer, you would figure out a way to not just have the brand launch this token, but have the token be something that's exchangeable, that's directly has value within itself. So when we first built Taco, we were building on Polygon. We built on Flow. And the biggest concern for us was the volatility around Polygon. Not to say that's a bad chain. It's just that brands want predictability, costs, and again, transaction speed, how fast it's going to take. And we felt like with Near, we could build a ramp that lets you go from points to tokens. And the token itself has value. So if you really wanted to build an ecosystem around points that can be converted to any other brand, you would just have to build some system that brands can use other people's tokens. So that's how we kind of do our rewards for your community, where we've seen companies like In-Betweeners was a pretty big Justin Bieber collab that was done on Ethereum. We helped them token gate their bear chains. They also did a hoodie recently. Plus, they also did all the discounts. There's also there's a phone company called Nothing. So we help them reward their customers with discount codes. So essentially what Taco does, it token gates rewards and exclusive merch and discount codes, and also gives you cash back, which you can then convert to tokens. And Maggie, if you go to the next screen, or whoever's controlling it, if you go to the next screen, there is a video. It might work better if you actually share that link in chat and people can watch it async. I don't think the audio will actually play, but we have a quick video that shows how easy it is to take an e-commerce store and wrap it around a token gate that's locked to Near. What I really want to talk about, though, is, I mean, we can watch this, but I don't think the audio's going to play. On the next slide, we talk about our roadmap. We can watch the video. What do you want to do, Maggie? I don't know if it's going to play audio through the presentation.
We can share this link out.
Perfect. That'd be great. So our roadmap is to essentially allow not just exclusive products, which you can see in that video, but we want to unlock everything for holders. This could be discount codes. This could be whale status. This could be the number, like the specific NFTs they own. It could be this could be a combination of NFTs. We've seen we call it. I mean, everybody calls it. It's like permissionless collaboration. How can you collaborate with another community project and provide value not just to your holders, but as a collaboration with somebody else? How can you use two different NFTs that are owned for the two different collections and provide product? So we're powering that through Near. We do other chains, but we're now actively investing just on Near, and we're actually only building our future roadmap on Near. We're no longer multi-chain for a lot of the features that we launch. The other thing that we want to do, as I mentioned this earlier, is like the conversion of token into points, or points to the token. So it's like a two-way street. Some people want to give people rewards for staking, and those are coming in as what you'd call like a ERC20, like a token. Then when you go to like the Web 2 world, which is what Shopify is, there's no real way to actually take tokens and get merch. So for that, we have an off-ramp from Web 3 back into Web 2. So we have a conversion. There's also a cashback option. As you can decide, do you want to, like a brand can give you, let's say, every token is worth whatever this value, or do you want to 2x that and give them a better reason to get your merch? Like, how do you incentivize people to get your merch versus just take the cash and run? So what we're having brands think about, like, how do they really want to talk to their consumers, and how do they actually want to build a loyal following? Because the more options you give your consumers, the better it is for them. So if you really want to build loyal consumers, you will empower them to either hold your tokens as staking or cash them out for like hard cash or fiat, or say, you know what, I actually love this brand. I want to come in and I'm going to take my tokens, get a 50% bonus for converting them to points, and get this product that I really like. And then the other thing that we really want to do is, for brands, we want to skip the entire journey of them even having to figure out, like, how do they go about airdropping? Are they going to do QR codes? They want to reward customers for buying certain products. For example, we're talking to a coffee shop. They're completely off-chain. They're not even using Shopify. They're using Square. And they want to figure out, like, how can I reward my customers with loyalty NFTs? And again, they're not connected to anything online. They're just like, I just want to do something NFTs. What can we do? I'm like, well, we can do a QR code. You come in, scan the QR code. You'll claim it. It'll drop to your wallet. And if you collect one per week, and every week is a new one, and you come in for 14 weeks, you have 14 unique NFTs, you can convert those into a bigger prize. So how do you do, like, wrapped up sales or complete the collection kind of stuff? So that's the kind of stuff we're building on Near for brands, and we want to make that a simple marketing product for them. That's really it.
Great. So, hi everyone. My name is Konrad. I lead the blockchain success team who helps our top partners to successfully launch on Near blockchain and thrive within our ecosystem. I'm super happy to present to you one of the most exciting partnerships that we launched this year with a company called Cosmos. So what is Cosmos? Cosmos AI connects the best of offline and online to create seamless experience for shoppers and increase sales for retailers. Cosmos AI employs world-class talents in its offices in Paris, Warsaw, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Tokyo. Their tech team includes winners of international programming competitions, ACM, ICPC, and IOI. Cosmos AI empowers some of the world's most prominent companies, including LVMH, Richemont, L'Oreal, and Estée Lauder. They offer AI-driven recommendation to its users, encouraging them to shop in nearby stores, saving time, money, and the environment. They are pivoting right now into Web3 using near blockchain. I'm going to hand it over now to Jerry, who leads the product for Cosmos AI. Jerry, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Could you go to the next slide, please? So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing very well. My name is Jerry, and I'm from Cosmos AI. It's a pleasure to meet all of you today and share some of the exciting things we are working on with NIR. So about Cosmos, we are an AI for retail company. And recently, we have the opportunity to partner with NIR very closely to further our vision, which we call shoppertainment, to bring in the fun into shopping and more. So could you go to the next slide? Today, I would like to share with you two of our products, a shopping platform called KaiKai and a lock screen solution. So in the next slide, you can see that, okay, I'm willing to bet that many of us here share a common love for coffee. So please picture this, you are purchasing like a $5 cup of coffee through an e-commerce app. And most likely when you pay with a credit card, your payment processor will charge you a hefty 10% fee to the platform. So as an e-commerce operator, this significantly decreased our profit margin. And if you go to the next slide, in Cosmos, right, we observe this phenomenon within our own shopping app called KaiKai. So in a nutshell, what KaiKai does is that we enable users to discover the best product nearby in an omni-channel manner and click and collect them and saving time and money for user. So we were conceptualizing a solution for the hefty charge from Stripe. And in the next slide, you can see that since 2022, we have partnered with NIR to develop a payment and reward system. We call it Kaiching, just like the sound, the cash register Kaiching, which allow users to shop with cryptocurrency at a very low transaction fee. And in the next slide, in addition to payment, we also use Kaiching as the tool for cashback, reward, and loyalty. So all of that was launched on NIR testnet since last year. And NIR was a very easy choice for us because it's very super efficient and it's the most eco-friendly blockchain out there. And in the next slide, we discovered that by reducing barriers to entry, right, making user own crypto as easy as buying a coffee, users appreciate the value of crypto a lot more. And we see that the adoption of Kaiching continued to rise since the inception. And now it's accounting for more than 68% of all the transactions, which is very surprising to us. And this doesn't just only drive the user retention, but also increase the average number of monthly purchase to 3.4. So with how many apps do you purchase more than 3 times per month, right? I bet that not many, and KaiKai is happy to be one of them. And in the next slide, recently we ran even a more aggressive experience of selling Kaiching to our user. And we saw that user actually buy this package, and those who bought this package, they are more engaging. They will buy 50% more items, and the average order value increased 40%. So those users become addicted to us. We call them Kaikai-holics, and they even buy a product every single day. Yeah. So now we feel that if we continue to do that, we will be saving a lot of money on the transaction fee compared to the traditional method. So on a single cup of coffee, we will be saving more than $170 annually. So you can imagine all the potential saving if we were to transition all the payment on the blockchain. Yeah. And as the next step, right, we are currently in the process of migrating Kaiching wallets and transaction to the NIR mainnet, and we are receiving a lot of support from Pagoda team for that. Now, let me introduce you to our latest initiative called KaiKai Now, which is the lock screen solution. In the next slide, that's one thing that we realized that on average, you look at your lock screen approximately like 80 times per day. So it's time for us to make a meaningful experience. So we are working, collaborating with leading Android phone providers to revolutionize the lock screen experience. What is amazing is that if you are using a phone from manufacturer like Oppo, Vivo, Transsion, or similar brands, so without the need of install any additional apps, right? Cosmo will have the ability to deliver meaningful content directly to your lock screen without any apps. So it comes as an out-of-the-box solution when you buy the phone. And in the next slide, we estimated that around 1 billion people will interact with our captivating content on their lock screen across the world. And in the next slide, we are currently in the process of transitioning this whole experience to the blockchain. We will make use of our experience in loyalty program. We will incentivize people with Kaiching for their interaction on the lock screen. And by doing so, we aim to make Kaiching the most used cryptocurrency and hence to make NEAR the most widely used protocol in the world. Yeah, and looking ahead, our roadmap includes forging closer collaboration with NEAR and exploring the potential of the BOS. We are also very excited to find other meaningful use case and partnership with fellow ecosystem participants. Yeah, thank you once again for all the time and attention. And I hope you enjoy your coffee while you look at the exciting content on the lock screen from Cosmo very soon.
All right, let's just jump right into it. We have a bunch of event updates. So next slide, please, David. NearCon 2023, we're going to start off hot. Next slide. So those of you who might have remembered, we had said we wanted to go to market on June 1st. Unfortunately, we do need to push that out 2 weeks. Reason being is there are a number of technical integrations we're working on. This is the first year NearCon is going to be fully integrated into BOSS. We're super excited about this experience. So ticketing will work as follows. All primary onboarding is going to be done through KeyPalm. Ticket transaction, both fiat and crypto, will be available through Verican, and secondary marketplace for reselling and on-chain goods and perks will be done through Mintbase. So if we take through one of these examples, let's say Bob goes to nearcon.org. He really likes what he sees. He is very curious about the event and wants to purchase a ticket. He will go through the registration form, and then he will be connected to KeyPalm seamlessly, where he will be primarily onboarded. That's if you're an existing wallet holder or a new wallet holder. Then you'll be taken through your ticket transaction. You'll decide if you want to pay in fiat or crypto with Verican. And say Bob has a wedding during NearCon that now he can't go to, but his friend Jane actually wants to buy his ticket. He can actually go into nearcon.org in his account, that's on BOSS, and see, oh, wow, I can resell my ticket on Mintbase. He'll click through that, follow the prompts, and he will be able to resell to Jane. And if he didn't know Jane and he wanted to just list his ticket, he will still be able to do that. So really excited about all of that. Huge shout out to Jake and Petar, who have been designing and integrating this into BOSS. Ben from KeyPalm, who's been a huge help, the Verican team, and also the broader Mintbase team. Also, side note, community speaker applications, those will also be live on June 15th, as well as our sponsorship prospectus. Just a quick note to add our community speaker application, we will be prioritizing highly technical sessions this year. Please keep it focused on the product, not Shilly. We want to know all about solutions and what you're bringing to the NEAR ecosystem and beyond. So coming soon, we'll have stage renderings and more on the attendee experience. So thank you again to everyone who joined the creative brainstorm sessions. You'll start to see that emerge in the weeks to come. Next slide, Collision. All right, so Collision is being led by Olga Plakuta. It's going to be quite a fabulous turn up. We have 4 speaking opportunities. You can see Tuesday, Wednesday, again Wednesday, and one finally on Thursday. Some of these might change, just FYI, we're working with the Collision team on wrapping this up, but you'll for sure have a masterclass with Ilya on the fastest way to add Web3 to your app, a masterclass on how to decentralize any front end using BOSS with Kendall, maybe someone else from Proximity, that's TBD, and then a panel with many VCs on charting the course of a thriving Web3 ecosystem, moderated by our very own Laura Cunningham. And then finally, we have a fireside chat at the end of the intersection of AI and Web3, featuring Ilya and Elad Gil. There will be one booth. We'll have 2 community side events. One of those will be the Near Horizon Pitch and Networking, and a different one called Crypto and Web3 for the Culture. So if you're in town a little earlier for ETH Waterloo and you have a day in between, this will be a great one to check out. If you want to know more info on the actual opportunity, I would say near.org/collision. And we do have a few extra tickets. So if you are an ecosystem project and you are based in Toronto, DM us on Twitter, reach out to me, reach out to Olga. We'll go ahead and hook you up with a ticket. This is primarily like a startup, developer, enterprise sort of audience. So if you're curious to know more, definitely check out near.org/collision. Next slide. Okay, ETHCC. So ETHCC is July 17th through the 20th. We have a side event on the 16th and 17th. It's going to be broken out into 2 days. That first one is going to be very technically focused on BOSS. So think BOSS Vision, BOSS for Devs, BOSS Tech Breakdown for partners. There will be a few invite-only research groups, and of course, networking and happy hours. Day 2 is going to be more founders focused, really building focused as well. So VC workshops from our backer network, a session from Proximity, a Near Horizon pitch competition, and more networking and happy hour. We have selected the Museum of Natural History, and we are going to specifically have the Verniquet section of the museum. So the broader museum as a whole is an official ETHCC venue for side events, but we have secured this one small area. It's not very small, it's still very ample in size. And you'll see in that lower right-hand corner that there's an area for a stage for all of these sessions. There's co-working on the sides. We have some chill lounge resting areas. And then not pictured on here, but kind of outdoors in the garden, we'll also have a really cool area to activate outside for everyone who wants to kind of come, hang out, drop into a couple of sessions, meet a couple of people. Definitely block your calendars. We'll have more information on this coming soon. June 13th is the launch date. And we didn't complete a slide on VivaTech, but I do want to give it a special shout out because our very own Marie Clement will be speaking there on June 16th from 10 a.m. to 10:35 on a panel that is called, Is Crypto Still Trustworthy? It'll be featuring Pascal Gauthier, the CEO of Ledger, Mitchell Armador, the CEO of Immunify, and the moderator will be CNBC's senior tech correspondent, Arjun Karpal. So if you are in Paris on June 16th, definitely want to check out, follow our Twitter. There will be a 20% discount code. So that's it from my side. I want to pass it over to Scott from our Korea Hub to talk about next week's activations.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to share about the 2 events that we're going to be having within the next 10 days. Next slide. Yeah, so we have 2 events called eSoul 2023 and the Biddle Asia. These 2 events are both organized by CryptoSoul, named Erica. I know some of you already know Erica. She has done a great job hosting these 2 events since 2018. So eSoul is more for builders, developers. It is happening from June 2nd to 4th. We expect about 300 developers in our building, and we have a near track already introduced some of the missions and the requirements. So there's going to be like eSoul after party, VIP dinner for the side events, and for the Biddle Asia, we are the diamond sponsor at this time, and so it's going to be happening from June 6th to 8th, and the Ilya is going to be the keynote speaker. And we expect about 1,500 people to join, and then we have an official side event co-hosting with the Hashed. Next slide. Yeah, so back to eSoul, it's a 3-day event. So it's basically there's a hackathon, and then there's going to be a keynote. Ilya is going to be the judge for the general track, and so there's going to be a lot of workshops. Mentorings, the hacker houses, and on June 4th, there's going to be a judging session, and then there's going to be a award ceremony. And after that, there's going to be some after party, and then we'll make sure we attend. Next slide. Yeah, so for this one, we're glad to announce that we have a total bounty prize about 30,000, including the proximity ones. So our main theme right now is to develop near dApps specialized for mass adoption using Rust, JavaScript, or EVM through Aurora. So I want to make sure the Web3 real use cases that can achieve mass adoption. We expect to see a more of a good dApps in real life, and that's going to be starting from June 2nd. Next slide. So as you can see, Ilya is a keynote speaker here, the Vital Asia. For those of you who might not familiar with the Vital Asia, it's basically a technical conference dedicated to sharing technical and business development in the crypto space. And it has been attracting huge, a lot of keynote speakers and a lot of good talents and a lot of business developments into one space. And this has been very tremendously successful, and we are very glad to participate as a diamond sponsor. Next slide. Yeah, and after the Vital Asia, we're gonna be hosting near hashed the night. So actually, if you can see the title, near is all you need. And next slide. We were very, so basically, this event, we wanted to make sure the near ecosystem partners and some of the people from Foundation get to know projects and get to know to the onboarding projects, including the gaming companies. So I kind of wanted to avoid, some random networking party at the club, so that people can't even communicate or whatever. I wanted to make sure we really utilize this opportunity. And actually, we've been pushing Hashed. Hashed is also a Near's investor to actually push them to help us a lot. So I think this is very meaningful because it's our first time hosting this event with Hashed. Next slide. So as you can see, we have a keynote speaker. A lot of people will join. We're glad to see, Alex from Aurora, Bowen from Proximity, Rand from Orderly, and the Mian, which is a name Marvel X. They recently have joined. We haven't announced it yet, but they're going to be coming here and speaking about our partnerships. Next. So as you can see, we have a lot of great near ecosystem partners. I think this is a very close our partners from near Korea that we have been building trust and relationships since we launched. And they all going to be coming here as a sponsor or the partners. So we expect to be great turnout, and then we expect about 200 people, 250 people to participate. So for those of you, anyone who's coming to Korea, let us know if you need any tickets or helps, or if you need to meet anyone like VCs or partners, enterprises, let me know. And in the meanwhile, we are making sure that we're keeping Ilyas busy. So we just had a meeting with LG Electronics and with Ilya. I want to make sure he's very busy before he leaves to Vietnam. So that's about it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Hey, everyone. Give a quick update on NDC. It looks like the slide didn't quite make it in here with some of our updates. There we go. Okay. So yeah. So one of the things that we've been doing in NDC, which NDC is a community-led movement to build governance on Near. So it's to establish governance for the entire ecosystem. And what we've got is we've been prototyping a proof of humanity protocol on Near called I Am Human. And so this is now the third iteration of this protocol that we've been working on. So we did two other iterations, was launched at ETH Denver, did some testing with OGs, brought it online for the community a few weeks back, had them test it for a while, and then we brought it down and have been retooling it and rescoping it to integrate with a new identity provider, Fractal, which many are familiar with in the Near ecosystem. This is primarily based on soulbound tokens, which is also a new standard on Near. So as you become a human on Near, you have soulbound tokens that you can acquire to prove your humanity, and then that allows you to contribute to governance of the Near ecosystem by doing voting and voting in representatives and things of that nature. So we're happy to announce that we now have this next version, which we're calling V1 on testnet. And so that's ready for the community to begin to test, provide feedback. It has a new UX integrated with Fractal, lots of different changes there. So we're looking for your feedback there. The other exciting thing that happened last week is as the community assembles around NDC and more leaders, OGs, community contributors come forward, something really unique happened that really was cool. And that is the community assembled to create an NFT line literally within about 3 days. So shout out to Russ, who is our community manager, as well as Deuce-A-Lot and Shard Dog. They created an NFT line specific to our first Constellation Summit. So we have a tremendous amount of work groups in the NDC, and the first summit was put together to have really the community assemble, and all the leaders of those different work groups join together to really sharpen the iron and get to know a little bit more about NDC and one another. So we did an NFT drop for those citizens. It's called the Citizen NFT drop. So that took place last week, kind of had a lot of energy on Twitter and within the community itself. You can expect more NFT drops coming. So look for events in the NDC hub. We dropped the link in the chat here for you. So please join the hub. Look for more onboarding events taking place. We have the DGens online. So one of the work groups that spun up was the DGens. So like, how do we amplify messages in a decentralized ecosystem? So their real mission is to amp and chill, and we're happy to announce that they came online this week officially. So that is another update there. And then we have our work groups. There's a tremendous amount of effort taking place in the work groups by the community, and we have our charters there at about 85 to 95%. So what the community is actively working on is bringing on V1 governance, and there's a tremendous amount of effort going on there. So really just invite everyone on this call and everyone watching on YouTube or that might see it later to really join the movement and join this movement to build governance on NEAR led by the community. So thank you.
And I believe that's a wrap. I know we're out of time, but I hope that there is one message that you take away from this town hall is the incredible amount of talent, developers, and projects that are being built on NEAR. And so while our numbers are not yet fully in the green, I think you get a lot of hope from the incredible, amazing work that is coming that will ultimately get transformed into very positive green numbers. All the pieces of the puzzle are in place for NEAR to be very successful. And with that, thank you all so very much for your participation and attending this town hall.